Hello, viewers. Welcome to Edfields Podcast, your everyday podcast. Today, we are very much privileged to have three people here to help us discuss some misconceptions about the legal profession. Today, I have Tony, I have Alberta, and I have yours truly, Derek. I will not start from the lawyers because, like Lumumba said, if you ask them, they will describe with the exactitude of a Jewish prophet how lawyers are so upright and correct. So today I will start with Tony. You have opinions about lawyers.
Yes, I do.
Tell us, tell us some of these opinions you have.
So, where should I start from, the good or the bad? Well, so maybe the good. That lawyers are very rich. I mean, look at Prince's suit.
Oh,
His spectacles frame, that all lawyers are very knowledgeable and intelligent. And lawyers are crook.
crook.
Yeah, you guys are crook that you cut deals,
Contempt of.
Yes, you lie. I mean, your practice involves lying because there's a saying that there are three people that you shouldn't tell lies to: your doctor, your accountant, and your lawyer. So the lawyer will ask you, tell me everything about the case. Even if you are guilty, tell me that you did the wrong. But, the lawyer will not go to the court and tell that, my lord, this guy is standing here, he told me he did it, So you lie. And that sometimes you connive with the opposing lawyer to cut deals. Yeah, because see, so a guy was saying that there was this serious case that he was fighting, I think, the brother. So they were going to court, and at the car park, he saw his lawyer talking to the brother's lawyer, smiling and all that. So these are some of the misconceptions that we have about lawyers. But the most prevailing one is that you guys cut a lot of deals. You go and discuss the issue with the opposing guy's lawyer, and you come to agreements, and you don't even tell the clients.
Let me ask Derek if he cuts deals.
Personally, I do not cut deals. Or let me say, I cut deals, but then for good reasons, not for bad reasons.
In favor of your client?
No, in the interest of justice. So what normally happens is that, lawyers are able to sit back and look at the facts from a perspective where our emotions are not involved.
Okay.
We are solution oriented.
Okay.
We know you are sad. We know you are probably angry on the part of the client. However, we want solutions for you. So if I consider the facts and I analyze the facts and we are able to reach settlement, the rules permit us to just reach the settlement for the court to.
But in that case, will you explain to me that?
So what normally happens is that as a client, you're always in control.
Okay.
However, your control is subject to my legal expertise.
Okay.
So for instance, you have a land. You sold the land to person B, right? Now, person B is having issues with the land because maybe the land is not as he expected it to be. Meanwhile, the whole time you have about 10 acres. You've only sold 2. Now there's a court suit. Why should we litigate over this? There are 8 other acres which are free. So if we can look at the other 8 and give him somewhere which would suit him, that is fair. That solves the problem. Does it not?
Well, yes, it does.
So we
But
don't
at that
cut
point,
deals.
I'm angry that I think it's not fair. This is what we agreed on, right? So if you are coming back to me that, no, these 2 acres, that is where sometimes we feel that for us, well, you mentioned that it's very emotive for the client.
Yeah.
So once we take that position, we are not backing down.
You can't reach any solution.
But
So
you see, the problem with that is that I always say the clients are allowed to be emotional, but as the lawyer, you shouldn't be, because it's not like you don't care about what is going on. But for example, I understand that I always go for settlement. If the need be. And in recent times, you see that a lot of judges also encourage settlement, because at the end of the day, you are being too emotional. But when I look at the facts, I see that if we go through from the beginning of the case to trial, looking at the amount of money you are going to spend, and I'm still going to take my legal fees. If we can settle and I take my legal fees, I'm saving you the cost of the filing and all those things that you are going to,
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, what you see when the lawyers are talking, it's not like they are conniving and trying to get something.
That is the understanding we get.
That's it. I get it, because people, when you come, you are angry, so you don't even understand. You think that because you are seeing the other person as the enemy, so your lawyer should see the other lawyer as the enemy. But the truth of the matter is, some of us, we've been in class for how many years? We've been classmates for so long. And you see, the fact that we can be friends, but when we come to the courtroom, we are different. I know that I'm looking for the interest of my clients. You're also looking for the interest of your clients. When we get out of the courtroom, then we can. And sometimes we are trying to, it may not be something that will go to the detriment of you or the other person. It may be for clarification, or, oh, you people, you owe us and you don't want to pay. Or I'll talk to my client and then we'll send you something. You get it? And sometimes, you see, if it's, for example, for payment of money, you are looking for a certain amount. Then your lawyers talking, they realize that, okay, maybe you want 50,000 or say 500,000, and the court is going to give you interest. But when you look at the other party, they are saying that they don't have money. They can only give you the 500,000 or even 600,000, so that you do away with the interest that the court will give you. Then your lawyer will tell you that, okay, looking at these people, if we waste money and time, get judgments, we cannot even get the money plus the interest, maybe, which is close to 1 million cedis. So when we speak and we come back to you, it is not like we are,
want to cut deals.
No, we don't cut deals.
And even this cutting deals, what my experience tell me is that sometimes, as your lawyer, I have to also save you from your own self.
Exactly.
There are so many things that you do, you will not know the legal implications of those things. You do them, and mind you, every case has a loophole.
Okay.
As much as I have seen the loophole in the other person's case, that I should also anticipate that the person will see mine. So if you see me talking, maybe we are negotiating so that something you did, I save you from it. Exactly. It's not necessarily that going to.
But have you guys heard that lawyer no akwajiska? Yeah. So these are things that we the lay people we talk about. Sometimes especially when we come to you guys, you make us believe that we have a very good case, right? And the case will travel a distance.
Is it all the time that you have a very good case?
Well, the few times that you make the client believe that they have a good case, the case travels a distance, and maybe along the line there've been some conversations, and then all of a sudden the case turned down south. That is when they will come back and say, Akojiska.
You see, that's why it's a misconception.
Yeah, it's
because things are going wrong, and you're wondering, like, what is going on? My lawyer told me it will go well. So you don't understand why something shouldn't be done in a certain way when your lawyer has spoken to you. But things change all the time.
The lawyer always knows best. And that brings me to the second point. Are lawyers liars? I would say no. We do not lie. It's just that, you see, for instance, relating the lawyers being liars misconception to the fact that I've heard certain opinions that we intentionally delay cases. And the more we delay cases, the more money we make.
Yes.
I don't know where that misconception comes from.
I think it is for maybe this misconception will arise for the lawyers that take transportation. But how much is transportation compared to the legal fee?
Because you see, everything we do, as already pointed out, the lawyers know best. They understand the rules, and we don't just go to court and come back. Everything we do is governed. It's governed by rules, procedure, and everything. So we are able to sit back and know that, okay, I'm not necessarily delaying the case. Maybe you came to me with a set of facts. I drafted a writ. I filed a writ. I've not even been able to save the person you're suing, right? And the rules will tell you that you have to make 3 attempts, not less than 3 attempts. or when you find it unreasonable that any further attempt would occasion delays and cost on the part of your client, then you go for substituted service. At that material time, the client may think that, oh, he has even filed the case. I don't even know what's happening.
And
I've not heard anything. Meanwhile, it's just procedure. You can't skip procedure.
I think the misconception also lies on the lawyers. Sometimes we don't communicate to their clients. So, for example, I remember there was a time I went to court right before we just ended the legal year.
Yeah.
So the case was adjourned to, was it November? When July or June.
Yeah.
When I came out, the client was like, November. We are in June. Why is like the case being adjourned? So
you have to explain.
You would, and maybe the person will be expecting you to ask for an earlier date. But then you have to explain to them that we are in the legal vacation. During this 2 or 3 months, the courts go on break. So we'll have to come back in October or maybe the court diary is too packed. You get it. So sometimes we don't talk to the clients. We don't communicate with the clients well. That is why the misconception arises. So it's also partly our fault, but generally...
but there are actually instances where you explain as much as you can, but then the perception is formed.
Yeah.
You can tell that you're talking to the person, but he's like, oh, well, okay.
You talk to them in your professional veil, but you want to see beyond the veil and see your eyes that if you are indeed telling us.
Yeah. And we have a lot of people who would come and instruct you as a lawyer, but they have different lawyers they seek advice from.
Okay.
And they don't necessarily tell them the whole story.
Okay.
And mind you, every lawyer will advise you based on what you tell him.
them. Yeah.
Exactly.
So the whole story, you divide into 4. You go and tell lawyer Kofi how he tells you this. You tell this one a quarter of it, he tells you this, and then he will come to you that this lawyer even said we are supposed to do it this way. So you don't do it that way, means wakojiska. Yes. Yeah, but you said that they go to court and they know that you've done this, but they go there and either don't say it or say you didn't do it. But would you say that lying is the same as not telling the truth?
Well, that's semantics. And I'm not sure. Lying is not the same as not telling the truth.
Yes.
No, but what I want to address your third point. What made you arrive at the conclusion that lawyers are rich?
Well, that is the perception in time because of how you dress.
But I'm surprised because I look up to you. Like I want to be like you when I grow up.
Guys,
So
you should be serious in this country.
I want to be like you.
I mean, you wear suits, white shirt, nice tie, leather bags, sparkling shoes.
You've heard of Accra packaging. You know that people like you who are relaxed and you are
but
you
you
are
are
relaxed,
the
but
rich
the money is.
But you can't tell me lawyers are packages.
This becomes a problem because it's like once you're a lawyer, there's a certain barrier society built around you.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's intangible. You can't do certain things. Once you're a lawyer, automatically everybody expects
You can't take cho-cho.
You can't take cho-cho.
Yeah.
Maybe you're going to buy your watch. Someone will see and say that, oh, but lawyer, why are you coming to buy watches? But meanwhile, you like some beans and some canna. You want to go and buy it. But all of a sudden, there's this appreciation that your standards are now high and everything. That is the case to a large extent. I mean, it's a good business. It's a prospectively good business. I hope that is a good thing to say.
You just confirmed that misconception that
So the prospects are there. So that is true. However, it becomes unfair to most lawyers where the standards are set so high, where the prospects are yet to be reached. You understand?
But I also think that this misconception, as you want us to believe it is, starts from the rush for law school. Now most young people want to enter the law school, and the noise, the buzz when you guys are called to the bar, the excitement, it also feeds into. I don't want to say misconception. It's that idea that you guys are. I mean, it's a prosperity profession.
whenever there's an election petition, the applications increase because
And-
everyone would see that part.
Yeah.
see,
And the glam, we see the glam.
yeah.
The suit, the wig, the tie.
I was coming to it. That those are some of the things we inherited, right? You come to meet that as a lawyer. One of the things that sell you is how you brand yourself, because we don't do adverts. I'm sure your business, you can just go to PCFM and then tell them to advertise for you.
Yeah, man.
I can't tell. A journalist say, "What lawyer be all year good?" 0244. Do you see? Yeah. So one of the ways of advertising our product is how we appear, because human beings, whether you like it or not, we are visual beings. What we see inform what we think about those things that we've seen.
And you see, the people that have this misconception
Yeah.
would also, it is because of you that lawyers behave the way they behave. Because
Okay, how?
imagine a lawyer, sometimes people look at a lawyer who is, let's say a lawyer is, someone is not driving, the person takes an Uber, or the person is getting down from a church. Then there's another lawyer who drives in with a Benz, who drives to the court with a Benz. You get to the when you get to the entrance, they tell you the place is full, but then they open the gates for the person to they open the gates for the person to enter. So you'd, in your mind, you would feel like, oh, maybe this person is doing well. That how
is
come
why.
he is, So it is, or you are part of, I don't mean you specifically, but you
but I
are
get
part
it.
of that. The reason why that
But,
misconception.
It's actually interesting that he mentioned the misconceptions which would ordinarily go against lawyers. As for the suffering that we suffer, you see, he conveniently didn't mention it.
We wouldn't know because you are always dressed nice.
No, because
Look at your spectacle frames.
For instance, clients would curse you. Imagine
This
being
one is
cursed
pets now.
in the ordinary course of your duties as a lawyer. Someone curses you, right? Those ones you don't talk about.
No, it's because they feel that you did not discharge the duty, to their satisfaction.
No, this is an opposing person. Of course, your client
Oh, okay.
will curse you.
No, but Derek, for those things, you see, people will not see the truth. These are misconceptions. So these are things that they think. I don't think anybody will see Prince. Look at how Prince is dressed and think that Prince has suffered in this life.
It looks like
if Prince can maybe sit down and tell you his story, and then you say
Then
no,
you'd appreciate.
yes.
You'd appreciate.
So for the bad things, people always, when it comes to misconceptions, people that's why there are misconceptions. They are not truths. So like you, even me, if you tell me that you suffered, I won't believe you. A big lawyer like you.
And lawyers, let me ask this: is it also true that justice is not for the poor?
No, justice is for everyone. Justice is for everyone. The rules of court, it doesn't have, it's not partitioned to say that these sets of rules are for the rich, these sets of rules are for the poor. However, I understand that maybe someone may have a good cause of action, but you can't afford the lawyer. So in that instance, you'd see like, okay, you cannot get justice. However, the law actually provides for circumstances like that. Firstly, as a lawyer, you're supposed to have a pro bono quota. I mean, it's part of your duties that you owe to society. So you can just look at some facts and say that, okay, you know what? Let me just do this. Secondly, the payment, the law that governs the payment or how lawyers charge, it gives room for contingency. So for instance, you have a good case, you cannot pay me now. Let me do it for you. At the end of the claim, I take my percentage. That's another option. We also have legal aid and things like that, right?
Yes. So for legal aid, you can. It's a government. It's like a government law firm. So the lawyers are paid by the government.
Okay.
So if you can't afford a lawyer, it's for those who are, should I say, financially challenged. So you go there, you talk to them. If they see that indeed you can't afford it, they will do it for free for you. So there are lots of options.
But largely, I think to a large extent, I get your point. Yeah. It is the one who has money, can afford the best lawyers, that would be seen to be getting
because
justice.
you hear a lot of conversations after a particular ruling, and the losers will say that because we didn't have money, because and even sometimes they say because we didn't have money to afford a better lawyer. Have you guys heard?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It happens. And saying a better lawyer, that is a little bit vague and a little bit loaded, considering the fact that, one, you bring your case, the person assesses your chances of success, tells you what he can do, and then you instruct the person. So whatever the person is going to do in court or wherever you are sending the person, it's your own instruction. So as to whether he was a good lawyer or a bad lawyer, it lied with you first. You could see clearly from the things that he was telling
Maybe
you, of
even
course.
left out some of the facts.
Yes.
You didn't paint the true picture.
Yes. And there are some people who also think that they only need lawyers when they are in a tight corner.
Yes.
So it gets to that point. It gets to that point where you can't even be saved by the person you think is the best lawyer in the country. And then that is when you are looking for a lawyer. He gets to court and everything.
Well, Prince, on that point, I mean, you are very right. But you see, for us we always think that law is expensive. I mean, lawyers are very expensive to approach, So not until I get to that space where I can breathe, I will not, come and chase a lawyer with my meager resources.
Yeah.
So you cannot entirely blame us that we wait till we get into a very a choking point. Because once, like I said, once we see you, hey, lawyer, and some of them cry, look, I don't have time. They will give you their
Card.
Their rate card, coming to tell you, Masem Kekeno, 1 hour, 2,000.
Consultation.
So all these things prevent the ordinary people from approaching lawyers. And we always think that we must get to a lawyer when it is at the death,
But that has a disadvantage because imagine, let's say you are entering into a contract, right? So your shoes, let's say maybe you get supplies from, I don't know where you get your supplies from, but let's say you get it from, you import them and you are entering into a contract, it's a rating contract. You don't involve a lawyer. As when you read the contract, you can see that the other party is supposed to supply something to you. It is there. You are also supposed to receive and pay this amount of money. It is there. So you sign the contract. You think, oh, whatever I want is there. Whatever the party wants is there. So it's fine. Then something happens. Let's say you are importing your goods from Korea. Something happens. Then you now come to your lawyer. Your lawyer reads the contract and it said that it's governed by the law of Korea. So you see, or even apart from that, there are some things, sometimes you are reading English, but they have legal implications, which you will not understand.
I get it.
So, for example, maybe the other party has gotten a lawyer to draft the contract, and you think that, oh, once the lawyer has drafted it, you don't want to spend money to get your own lawyer, but you should remember that their lawyer is looking for their interest.
Yeah.
So you should at least give it to a lawyer to review. But the problem is people don't want to pay. Somebody will call you, oh, just quickly review or look at this for me. I'm sending you something to. But it's time. It's time. You
Can
see,
I use
it's
5
just
minutes
like
of your
saying,
time?
oh, Tony, can you quickly make a shoe for me?
I want to pick your brain.
So it's just as you are doing your business and you are trying to make money. Mine is not sale of goods. It's I'm rendering a service.
Yeah.
And that's what is going to feed me. That's what's going to take care of me.
See, the difficulty is that our service is intangible.
Yeah.
Right? If I need shoes from you, it's a physical thing. You need to sit down, use your machines to put it together. But sometimes clients would see like, oh, but you are just opening your laptop to press a couple of keys.
One page per.
This one, 10 minutes counts.
Well, that is true. That's how we feel.
Yes.
I won't lie to you.
But that one page, a lot.
You should
a
place
lot
more
goes into
premium on the intangibility because the thinking that
that's
goes
how we
into
feel.
the things we
So,
do.
and like Alberta said, it's a straightforward English.
Yeah.
So I understand. Problem biamba, then you send the money 2 weeks, 4 weeks, the goods are not coming. Then you find that, hey, let me go and find a lawyer friend or let me go and find a lawyer to help me. And also, Alberta, I see, it depends on the structure of the business and the stage
That's true.
at which the business is. For me, with benefit of my experience, I can now afford a lawyer, or I even have a network of lawyer friends who can do these things for me. 14 years ago, 2010, I did a lot of school standards with schools. Look, we didn't even have written agreements, not even pen on paper.
Yeah.
Until one school decided that they won't pay. Then I say, wow. So there, I learned my lessons that, maybe just a simple MOU
Could have
Yeah,
saved.
could have saved me, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I was just excited. Horseman, we want 1,000 pairs of sandals. We want 500. Okay, if I do 1,000
Do
pairs of sandals and my profit is 20 cedis per on one,
Going to
I will
give
make
it
this.
to a
Before I even produce the sandals, I was thinking of what I would do with the money. So it depends. It comes with experience and also having the right people around you.
Yeah.
For startups, no, lawyers, you are far at the bottom. Even
Yeah.
though we need your services,
Yeah.
sometimes we don't even know that we need
Yes.
the service of a lawyer at a particular stage. But I listened to one of your podcasts, and Alberta was saying that even for life, once you come into this world,
Yeah.
you need a lawyer to be guiding you along the way.
Very
but also, you
important.
guys also make yourself approachable.
Are we not approachable?
But I
I
think
know
we are.
there's a wall.
You see, it's just the misconception. It's just like
Yes.
your everyday life. Sometimes you see someone, like personally me, when I go somewhere, I'm quiet. I don't want I don't even want to be noticed. Then someone feels like, because everyone is talking and you're quiet, we are too known or you're not approachable. And people too say, like sometimes I'm there, I feel like, I'm not angry, I'm just calm. And someone is like, some random person is like, madam, won't you smile?
Why are you frowning?
You get like, why are you frowning? That kind of thing. So it's like, it's a misconception you have. But once you talk to the person, you realize that, this is not the kind of person I thought
So
they
you
were.
should always
So-
feel free to approach.
Because I'm thinking back 2010, if I needed a lawyer, who? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I would have walked maybe around Asalam down those old buildings,
Yeah. But that's still you can
knock lawyer,
still
please.
working.
I have an MOU. I want to supply 2010 when I had just started business.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have crossed
I
my mind.
understand. I guess.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have crossed my mind.
But you know what surprises me is you've not told us that you heard lawyers are buried face down.
Oh yes, yes. That was
You decided to
when we
leave
were
all
young.
the bad ones out.
But you don't believe that, right?
I have seen lawyers being laid in state and they were not. But when we were young and at that time when they asked you what you want to become when you grow, once you mentioned you want to be a lawyer, when you die, they would
Face down.
they will turn you upside down. Is that the case?
Oh no.
It's not the case.
Alberta.
Because we
It's
only
not
do
the
good things, that's not the case.
So, Prince, let me ask you again. When Atayi was being trial,
Yeah.
people didn't understand why. Can I say allegedly a known criminal
Yeah.
had a defense lawyer? They didn't understand this guy.
So you see, the law is that until a court has, let me say, declared that this person did XYZ and is guilty, the person is supposed to be presumed innocent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give the person the benefit of the doubt. And give the prosecution that room to come and prove why they have brought the person to court. So I always say that the fact that you've heard that someone has died out of
Court of public
a
opinion.
fight or some, let me say, misunderstanding or scuffle between two people, does not mean the person has been murdered.
Exactly.
There's death, but it doesn't mean someone killed him. That is what not everybody knows.
Exactly.
And so you have to just
Chief,
count.
what are you
Like
telling me?
You pronounce
No,
the person
so you see-
guilty.
Murder in itself is a technical term. People use it loosely, but it's
Yes.
a technical term. So, for example, you see, somebody would have died, but when you go into the case, you realize that maybe it was self-defense. I was in my room. Somebody walked in with a gun, and then I had something on my hand, and he attempted to shoot me, and then I hit him, and he fell down and died. Then they will say that I've killed someone. Of course, I've killed the person, but
But it's
I
not
was
murder.
defending.
But it's not murder.
It's not murder. The person has died, but it is not murder.
Okay.
It can also be manslaughter.
Manslaughter.
So I killed the person, but it wasn't
intentional.
I,
You
it
didn't
wasn't
intend to
intent.
kill
You
the
didn't
person.
intend to kill the
All right,
person,
And it can even be nothing.
or maybe you were provoked. There's a level of provocation that the law would give you an amount of protection.
Yes.
Because the law understands that we are human beings and we can be provoked.
You see,
So all these are technical things.
So what is murder then?
Murder is intentionally
Intentionally
killing a person.
someone.
That is why
Without a defense.
when there are these news items, they tell them that if they always use the word allegedly because they know they
They're not
understand
sure.
Yes.
Okay.
that till the court goes into, till the evidence is out, and then we realize that this person killed this person and intended to do it.
That's
You
murder.
can't-
And then manslaughter.
manslaughter is also when you kill, but then you did not kill intentionally.
Intentionally.
Yes.
Okay.
So someone is dead, all right, but then you didn't intentionally kill the person. And you see, I want to make the point that it's sometimes it's unfair for the public to judge some of these things because in criminal law, the threshold is really high.
Yeah.
The proof must be beyond reasonable
Reasonable doubt.
doubt.
Yes.
Absolute certainty. You understand? So even if there's a small room, you've not met the threshold.
Yes.
It's technical, and that's what people don't understand.
But you see, sometimes you guys know that this guy actually killed the guy. But because
how
you're
do
the-
you think
Oh,
we know?
We don't know. We
We are
can't
not
know
aware.
till we see the. You see, they can come and tell you something, but the evidence is with the prosecution. So we have to go through, and everybody is entitled to be
Yes.
defended
So
under the law.
I will give you an example. There is a case, a very popular case called Nyameneba. You see, they are laughing. He was caught. He was caught with marijuana. This is weed. If even you've not seen weed before, the way it smells. No, he comes to you, the lawyer, and says that I know that what I am holding is called herb of life.
So
It's
in
not
fact,
called
he was
weed.
going around in town telling people, including the chief, that he has discovered the herb of life.
Yes. So you arrest him for possession of narcotic drug or drugs. He goes to court. You see, there's a difference. We say that there's a difference between ignorance of fact and ignorance of law. If you say, oh, I didn't know it was law, that one is not a defense. But ignorance of fact, what he was holding, to the best of his knowledge, it was called herb of life. And that is not the drug that has been prohibited by law. So if I go to court and I say that he has told me that yes, he was holding whatever you caught him with,
Yes.
but at the time he was holding it, he thought that he had gotten a herb
Yes.
for spiritual advancement.
Okay. Yes.
I have not lied, have I?
No. You see, sometimes it has to corroborate.
Yes.
But for the fact that he did not even try to hide this herb.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's completely ignorant. On the contrary, there's another case where they try to rely on the ignorance of facts.
Yeah.
But then with that one, they actually dug a hole behind a mirror to hide the substance there. So clearly, common sense will tell you that, okay, this person knew there was some high level intention that.
So Nyameba wasn't guilty.
No, he wasn't guilty.
He was left.
Mistake of fact.
Yes.
He wasn't guilty.
He was.
You understand? So you may sit on the outside and say, oh, the guy is holding weed. He has been arrested.
And the lawyer has gone to
And the
defend
lawyer
him.
has gone to defend
You
him, and
see?
the lawyer is a bad person. But if anybody
lawyer
is
is a
a
liar.
bad person, it's the law, not the lawyer.
When he dies, they will bury him face
Bury
down.
him as
His eyes will not close
Yeah.
when he dies. I'm sure you've heard that too.
yeah.
They use glue to cover your
No,
eyes.
Hey, that one I
it's all
haven't
not
even heard
true.
this before.
They use glue to cover your
Yeah,
eyes.
because your eyes will not close. They'll use. Yeah.
And I'm also curious that some people also think that if you go to court and you don't appear very aggressive or you
Yes.
don't shout, then you are not a good lawyer.
Yes.
Nah, this
Why do you have
this is
that?
very personal.
I think it's what we see maybe from movies
yeah.
and all that. You know.
what do you think the aggression does?
I don't know. You are confident. You know what you are talking about. aggression,
I can't
speaking
be calm-
fast,
I can't be calm and know what
performing
I'm talking about.
the theatrics, you know. So I think it is an impression that we get from movies, and then I think also we also socialize to think that even when you are arguing with your boys or with your friends, the one who shout the loudest, we think that they have a stronger.
No. You see, that is where you're getting it wrong. When it comes to law, the basis of everything is the substance.
Yeah.
Is the substance. If you do not have the substance, you can shout. You can keep shouting.
Empty barrels.
Empty barrels would make the most noise. The person who has the facts, has the law, can just calmly lay before the judge, and he's there.
For us,
And
we are there.
sometimes
For us,
you-
we are there to watch the performance.
You know, sometimes when you don't know what you're about or you are found wanting, that's when it's
try
like
to
it's
be
a
dramatic.
defense. You are
You make
trying to be
something for your
dramatic,
clients
take
see that
away
you're
from the
working.
fact that what you're saying doesn't have a lot of substance. So it doesn't.
This
doesn't-
This is very personal because you see my demeanor. Naturally, I'm extremely calm. I hate being aggressive, right? But then someone would see you. I think before when I was in law school, even my parents, hey, this law, are you sure you can do it?
Yeah.
You're in the house, you don't even talk. And I'm like, should I be walking around shouting just because I'm a lawyer?
You know, the first application I did in court, my father sent my sister to come and watch me. That, this guy, he doesn't talk. I'm just wondering how. So my sister came to court. It was an application for injunction. And then she realized that within 5 minutes, I was done.
You're done.
She didn't hear anything. And then I sat down. So when we came out, he was like, Mantivio. He said, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the judge. He was like, look at the other lawyer. He was shouting. I said, but Simon, you know that he will shout because he doesn't have anything to say.
Well, so we are influenced by the movies and the movies.
Yeah.
We
As
watch.
for the movies, they paint a lot
It's
of...
normal because even some people do law because they've watched
Yeah,
Suits.
some
Exactly.
movies. And
Yeah.
a lot of people ask me, so when you go to court, is it like Suits? I'm like, then I remember when I'm in
Suits
court
in
and
commercial court story.
I'm talking and the recorder is now typing, then I look on the screen and she's typed something and I have to go back.
Yeah.
It's even distracting your flow. It's totally different.
Yeah.
It's a different
My
ball
first
game.
time I went to court, I was looking for the performance, but it
You
was
hardly
one lawyer
find
going
it.
to the judge, the other lawyer coming to the. By 15 minutes,
Yeah.
You're
You
done.
see,
they were
sometimes
done. Say,
a lot of things would happen that you wouldn't understand. People
And-
see litigation to be... Sometimes people would ask, so have you won a case before?
I
don't know
going to
if
come
they
to
think
that.
it's 90 minutes football game between Real Madrid and Man U,
Yeah.
where at the end of the day, we know that, okay, this is the winner.
Yeah.
With litigation, you can go as far as you want.
yeah.
Even when you lose the case, you always have the right to appeal. Yeah.
That's interesting. Anyway, I'm sure that all these were things that people who are listening to us, who are watching us, had in their heads
Yeah.
that these were facts. But I am sure now we've been able to clear most of these doubts.
Tony, have we been able to clear
Are
them?
you set?
Largely, largely, but I am not convinced that lawyers are not rich. But
Okay. That's fine. We'll agree to disagree.
Well, even the sea accepts rain. So
Right.
I'm sure that regardless of how rich you think we are, you will still bring us business.
oh, sure, I mean, if I see your card and your red card and I can afford.
Very, very,
Yeah.
very, very
I
affordable.
like your silk tie anyway.
I am shy. Thank you very much. So, viewers, thank you very much for joining us in this discussion. My name is Prince. I've been your host. Thank you for watching.